What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another fantastic, amazing, incredible, dynamic, thought provoking episode of the Tribune Show. Happy you all could make it. Apologize for being just a few moments late, but hey, we finally nailed this intro. How cool is that? Very cool. Appreciate you all being here. Today, we have a very exciting show lined up for you. Let's go ahead and, as usual, dive right on into it. For those of you who may have missed it this morning, folks, we have secured a wonderful spot as one of the four horsemen on the Melodome. That's right. Rep the merch. Absolutely awesome. Couldn't be more excited. Vibing with like-minded individuals, raising the vibrations, helping set the tone for the week before the actual Tribune show tonight, which we will be continuing every Sunday night. Some of you have already noticed the slight schedule change. Instead of 11 Eastern Standard, we've moved it back an hour. It's a little bit better of a time for most people, including myself. So we're going to go ahead and rock it here. This is actually one of my favorite thumbnails I've made. Looks very, very good. Man, looks absolutely awesome. Super cool. All right. Today, we're going to be talking all about intuition, imagination, things of that nature. We've been following a very clear line up the Eastern chakra paths, starting with the root and now all the way. Now we've made it to the third eye. So, going to be pretty interesting, incorporating that amongst the several headlines that we have to cover. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we're going to be opening up the lines. You guys know the deal. The first half we do over here on YouTube and Rockfin, of course. And there is a link in the description that you guys can click, and that is going to take you over to the Rockfin side if you're on the YouTube side for the second half, which will be exclusively only on Rockfin. The show is free today, but after about a week or so, we do go ahead and shut it down. That way we can let Rockfin keep their exclusive content and, give them something to support all the other truth content creators, not just myself out there. You guys can too by simply going over there and creating an account. It's only $5.99 for simply my content, or you can pay $15.99, a steal deal, and get not only myself, but Jaronism, Karen B., Mark Sargent. We also have the Melodome, let us not forget, and many, many more. There's only one way to know all the content over there, and that's to create an account and go. So head on over to Rockfin, link in the description. All right, enough of that grift. Let's go ahead and shout out the lovely people who are watching early, who have went and made it to the show. The early birds, Shane, St. Pierre. Looking forward to our conversation on Wednesday with Austin over on the Melodome. It's going to be an awesome time. Guys, be sure to check that out. We're going to be talking all about magnetism, the magnetic field, stuff like that. It's going to be a banger. Definitely check that out. Let me go ahead and get the YouTube chat up. Where are you guys at? You said root and tired. Sorry. Awesome. King Shin, welcome. Israel Kane, absolutely. The pineal gland. Taper Body is always a pleasure to see you in the chat. And, of course, my good friend Jeremy Bird. You guys are the special, the elect, the first ones to be in the show. So congratulations and welcome. Without further ado, I guess we can go ahead and dive right on into it. Not sure how many of these stories I've made a few contemplations, and I've decided that you guys don't need to actually physically see every single article that I decide to read. It really cuts into the time pretty bad, so I'm going to be doing it a little bit different, being a little bit more selective on what I actually show, but I'll still be going through the articles, of course. So this one right here is from USA Today. Let's go ahead and pop this in the chat for you guys, because I will at least make sure you guys have the sources. Boom. Something really cool that I'm looking forward to Not actually, because I'm in Florida, so this probably will not happen for me. But for up to 30 different states, you are going to be able to witness the aurora borealis, which is absolutely phenomenal. The beautiful green light that can be seen. Um, Let me see if I can find a good little video of that, or if they already have one. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. There's something. All right, give me 1 second. Let's get the display capture. Boom. And boom. Alrighty. Now you guys can see a little bit here. We got the aurora borealis, the beautiful green color. Always good to get the chance to see that, take it in, feel all the sensations that come with it. There's a bunch of subtle things. A lot of people think, "Oh, he's talking woo again," and like it is true. It is very wooey, very awe-inspiring, and that is probably by design, right? So go ahead and check that out. Now they're of course blaming this on a solar flare. You know, the thing that was supposed to come and like wipe out all the electronics and stuff and take out the internet. And it's the reason why the crypto bros are all dumb. It's really funny. Instead, all we get is these increased beautiful lights. So go figure. It's giving us a geomagnetic storm watch. We don't really care too much about that. Category G5. It's extreme, but we'll see. Right? What's the worst? What's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to get some pretty lights in up to 30 states, depending on weather conditions like cloud coverage, of course. All right, here's all the states that you can see it: Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. All the northern states, pretty much, they just go ahead and name them off. So if you guys are in one of those states, if you could get some good footage, this is an excellent opportunity. You don't get chances like this very often. So there's your line there. You guys can probably see that, right? Alrighty. So yeah, all those places here are going to be able to see it. It's going to be pretty awesome. And it's got your cloud coverage. Okay, what else? There's a chance that it can be seen all the way to Texas. My goodness. That is nuts, guys. That thing is going to go all the way to Texas. So, all right. Something cool, a nice little visual for you guys to look forward to. Let's go ahead and get back over here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let us do, boom. And we're back. Let's see here. Who else do we have? The Rockfin chat. David Harbor, welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys coming by. I'm sure a few more of you have been able to pour in over on the YouTube side. MC Hip Chase. Happy to have caught this live. Awesome. We appreciate having you. Doug Marrer. Welcome. Austin Murphy. Super cool. All right, let's go ahead and get the next thing here. Gonna be pretty cool. This is speaking of astral phenomena and things that are pretty odd, right? Because this is one of the first times in my life I'm hearing of being able to see the auroras, in so many different places at once. But this right here is also pretty profound. Something I didn't really learn about when I was in school was that Mercury acts like a comet. Let me repeat that. Sometimes Mercury actually has a tail. I don't know if I've Mandela affected to a new universe or what, but I've literally never heard of this. And I actually did pretty well in Earth space science. So let's go ahead and get this copied over for you guys. This is freaking hilarious that I missed this. Where are we at? One more for you. Boom. Moving along. Is the light show a refraction issue in California? That's a great question. I think that they say that the aurora borealis is the sun rays or whatever, the sun radiation bouncing off the magnetic field. So if the magnetic field is wrapping around the spherical Earth, pretending that it's a sphere for a second, then I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be a refraction issue, I believe, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there. By the way, Jeremy, you deserve to be a mod, so let's go ahead and do that. Boom. There you go, my friend. Awesome. Anybody else who's a regular listener, who's awesome, will obviously get a wrench eventually. So just sit tight, guys. It's coming for you. It's coming soon. I'm the police in this chat all by myself. Nah, dude, Jeremy's got a wrench now. You got some help. So y'all can be the law together. It's going to be awesome. All right. So now that I got that posted, let's go ahead and get back the display capture. This is just how we do it because it's going to be easier instead of having to pull it into the thing each time. Receive the latest news. No thanks. All right, guys. See Mercury's giant comet-like tail in stunning new image as it passes close to the sun. Wow, I thought Mercury was a desolate rock that had no atmos, right? So what gases can be leaking off to make the tail? Or, I thought comets were a bunch of ice, and so the ice starts melting off as it gets close. So this doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, let's hear what they have to say. Maybe they'll make a convincing argument. Comet-like tail become unusually visible in the night sky and was captured in a stunning photo. So is this something always visible or always present and we just can't always see it? Let's see. Spotted cosplaying as a comet over the last few days when the sun's neighboring planet reached its nearest point to our star, of course, and they're begging the question, model, we don't really know what the hell's going on up there, but hey, let's go on. Exposing its massive streaking tail in the night sky, one astrophotographer captured the truly epic shot. You see this, guys? It's truly epic. Let's blow that up, make it bigger. Boom. Stunning. All right, that's enough of that. Okay. Comets orbiting chunks of rock, gases, blah, 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 blah. We know what a comet is. Does anybody not know what a comet is? All right. Two tails are blown away from the comet, blah, blah, blah. Solar winds. Excellent. Okay, Mercury. There's obviously a big difference between a comet and a Mercury, right? Because comets are supposedly big balls of ice flying through the fake solar system. But Mercury is supposed to be again, atmospheric-less rock, again, hurling through the solar system. So let's see what they have to say. The solar system's smallest planet has a comet-like tail made predominantly of sodium ions. So salt. It's going to spray salt, which is scattered from the planet's surface by solar wind and micrometeor impacts. What? Okay, so this is being pelted by those micrometeors that I guess they didn't get hit with at all in any of the moon missions or ever on the ISS or, in any of those other places. But hey, I guess this thing is just getting pelted. Researchers have known about Mercury's tail since 2001 and have since discovered that it grows and shrinks based on the planet's proximity of the sun. Okay, I don't think I can read any more of this. It's a bunch of BS, but I did think it was interesting that Mercury actually has a tail. Did not actually know that, and pretty cool that we can actually see it. So, alrighty. So go ahead and wrong way. Whoopsie daisy. Let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. Okay. David R. started phone texting in chat. Awesome. No worries, man. I find the best way to use Rockfin is definitely going to be in the browser. I don't use it in the app at all. The app's kind of janky, but they're working on it. So the thing that we love about Rockfin is that they don't censor the content creators. We don't have any fear of leaving our content up and getting striked, removed, and hours and hours and hours of hard work and research going down the tubes just because some executives got a payoff at the top. So I'm talking to you, YouTube. But hey, that's why we have Rockfin. We love you. And there are also two other ways that you can definitely support the show, and you can see them right below at the bottom. They're going to be also great ways to have your 10 minutes, or sorry, 10 minutes. This is an awfully long time, right? Your 10 seconds of fame. You can hit the Cash App, Mr. Tribune, and leave a message. We will read it live here on the show. And you can also support at buymeacoffee.com. So if you like the content, feel free to show your support as well. We definitely appreciate that. Legends are here. And legends are often in the chat. Just remember that you guys are often the ones who make the show. So definitely setting the tone. Definitely appreciate it. Andrew B., welcome in. Haven't missed too much. We just covered 2 ridiculous articles. Gonna see some cool sights with the Aurora Borealis, and Mercury has a tail. Go figure. That would have been a great trivia question, right? Which planet supposedly has a tail made of sodium or table salt? Absolutely ridiculous, the stuff that they'll come up with. But in any case, let's go ahead and move right along, because we did have a little bit to cover, but I'm actually smashing through it pretty good. Really smooth. So today's episode, we're talking all about sight, intuition, imagination, and definitely dealing with the solar system, invoking a lot of imagination there, a lot of whimsical wonder, to pretend that we're in that fantasy. But to add on to the ridiculousness, we actually have a ridiculous running theory on the way that light is created. And this is a very interesting topic as of late, because we now have ideas of light being excitations of the ether or some sort of field. Excuse me. And with that, and gravity being, for the most part, unverified, or I should say completely unverified, it's pretty interesting what they come up with here. So let me go ahead and get this posted for you guys, and we'll dive right in. This was pretty funny. The title is Gravity. Gravity may just be able to produce photons and light all on its own, a study suggests. And it all has to do with resonance. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is going to be hilarious. First and foremost, let's drop it. Melodome in the chat. Yo, what is up, my friend? Angela Baby Carson, what is up? Definitely smash that like, guys. We appreciate it. The like is free. That is one of the best ways to support the show, and definitely share it out. We got to grow this bad boy, right? And I cannot do it without you. This is a mission that we must all take together, right? So, Flat Gang, that is right. So let me go ahead and get this posted for you. You guys got it. Rockfin, have I been posting for you guys? I don't think I have. Whoopsie daisy. I don't need the meeting time Zoom. That's fine. Shane, by the way, I got kicked out of that, so if you could resend me a link when you can, it'll be fine. We're going to use Zoom for the second half. It's going to be awesome. Cave-In, what is up, my friend? All rested and ready to go. Great to see you as well. All right, so you guys got that. Let's go ahead and get back to the article. All right. A new paper is revealing that gravity may just be able to create light all on its own. This is absolutely phenomenal. Gravity, the bending and warping of space-time, two hypothetical concepts, two concepts created in the mind, may be able to come together and create an actual real physical thing called light. Absolutely astounding. Incredible. Like literally as in I don't believe it. Credible. No credibility. It all has to do with gravitational waves, often referred to as ripples in space-time. Oh, awesome. Nailed it right on the head, guys. That radiate through the universe and carry the effects of gravity out and away from their generating bodies. The most prominent of these came from cataclysmic events like black hole mergers and supernova. And according to the new study, they are strong enough and they can spontaneously, that means randomly, generate light. what in the freak are we reading here, guys? I'm going to try not to scramble your brains too much. But again, a big part of this show is going to be imagination. So let's just have fun with it, right? All has to do with resonance, the authors argue, which can allow a wave or motion to build and build and build upon itself until it achieves a parametric resonance. So a great example of this would be like a boxer hitting the training bag. You know, it starts off a little slow, like do 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 do, and then it goes faster and faster and faster at a set rate. So that is a good example of parametric resonance. It's what led to and they say that this is what led to the creation of light. So the bending and warping, the wave ripples of this hypothetical space time is what they theorize created the visible spectrum. This is what your taxpayers' dollars hard at work. This is what they come up with to test this theory. Oh, this is going to be good. The researchers explored the conditions that saw the creation of the extremely early universe. Hold on a second. Let's read that one more time. To test this theory, and you know what? Can you guys see this? You can't. Let's make sure you can. Let's get back over. Okay. So that way you know I'm not just making this up. To test this theory, the researchers explored the conditions that saw the creation of the extremely early universe. So now they claim to know the conditions of the early universe. At that time, all forms of matter and energy were ramped up to unimaginable scales. And they're also claiming, Jesus Christ, dude. Wow. So they're claiming to know the exact conditions of the early universe down to all the different forms of matter and energy when we may not even have the gravitational waves of the time much stronger, and that could have significantly influenced everything else that was happening. Okay, so basically, so everything's bigger and more chaotic. You know, they always do this, you know, when they say, when you think about like early Earth, the way that was taught in school, it's like volcanoes erupting, lightning striking, and out of this crazy, chaotic experience, somehow the order of life is spontaneously generated, right? Out of order chaos, very occultic. But they try to take that up to the extreme, all the way to the creation of the universe, you know, the hypothetical thing that they created as well, that people think is bigger than the Earth. Saying it's just like a swing, right? Oh, that makes it make more sense. Those early waves would have moved back and forth, taking everything else in the universe with them in this swing-like motion. And the push and pull of waves would have led to the previous mentioned resonance effect. You know what's really interesting about this? Because, you know, if you think about it, what they're saying is Big Bang happens, and then you have these waves rippling out that are very, very intense. And the way resonance happens is that waves go back and forth, like they just said here. How does the wave come back, right? When you think about it in like a pond or something, it's because it hits the edge and comes back, right? So, what are these gravitational waves bouncing off of at the edge, right, to create this resonance effect in their hypothetical model? Awesome. Where's the edge to your universe, right? Got them. Push and pull of these waves would have led to previously mentioned resonance effect. Okay, the best explanation. And before we even go any further, I wonder if they're even going to explain how the motion of this wave back and forth can actually create something, create a particle like photon. It's going to be really interesting to see. The best explanation is the use of an analogy of someone swing pumping their legs at just the right time to send the swing higher and higher. As the waves continue to pump forward and backward, they were able to drive radiation in the universe to extremely high energies, resulting in the spontaneous creation of photons. What? Result in the spontaneous creation of anything. This doesn't make any sense. And this is how gravity essentially became light. To a hypothetical gobbledygook, right? Process not yet fully understood by physics, of course, seem to be. No, it doesn't. For something to be viable, right, you have to actually demonstrate, the properties to be true. And nothing in this article was demonstrated to be true whatsoever. except for the fact that parametric resonance does exist, right? And that's the part of this that's real, right? So, wow, try to wrap your heads around that for a moment. But again, don't let it break your mind. This is where they're going with it. This is their best explanation for where light comes from. So don't feel bad if we don't have all the answers about just the way everything works, because at the end of the day, really nobody does. And I like the excitation of the ether model much, much better than the hypothetical bending of two hypothetical um, two hypothetical subjects that resonate to a degree that then creates something else hypothetical. Okay. How are we doing on the time here? Left my phone in my pocket. Luckily, awesome. It's I'm not used to the Mac, so I can't just look and oh, there it is. Awesome. As soon as I go and say I don't know where the time is, I'm gonna be able to find it right there. Okay, yeah, we're doing good. Okay, so let's go ahead and grace you guys again with the let you guys get the astronaut transition. That'll be good. And let's get this other thing pulled up. Lots of imagination. Lots of imagination in today's show. Really funny. So, speaking on the subject of light, I thought that this was something pretty interesting. Here in Florida, this is something that I see all the time, and you probably see it, a lot of places in the country, but in Florida, we have particularly bad mosquitoes and moths everywhere. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, we're going to be talking about bugs here for just a moment. And no, we're not going to be talking about eating the bugs like the elites definitely want us to be doing, which I will not be doing. I just, it seems a little gross to me, right? But let's go ahead and go into this. Again, dealing with the subject of light. We finally know, which again, very interesting hubris claims here about how they claim to know these things. We finally know why insects are attracted to lights. Artificial light doesn't actually attract insects, but instead interferes with their control systems that they use to orient their body when flying. Doesn't make any sense when you think about it, because I always see them just flying like right into it like it's a homing device. But they're saying that that's random because their control systems are just shut off. At least that's what I think. Let's go ahead and continue on. Of course, didn't even check this. Continue, subscribe. It's not a complete Tribune show without them asking me to subscribe and me refusing to give them any money. So, but we're going to see what we can read here. Finally have a good explanation for why insects. Okay, explanation is not the same as knowing, but we'll give it to them, I suppose. For why insects gather around artificial lights, and it isn't because they are a light to navigate at night. In the paper by Samuel Fabian. We can click on him and see if it gives us something cool there. Oh, no, it's just going to give us his LinkedIn. Who is this person? Postdoctoral research associate at Imperial College in London, of course. Science photography. You'll probably trust it. Who knows? All right. And then finally, let's go ahead and get into our last little article here from CNBC. Let's try not to get copyright striked for using their content. This is going to be something, it's a little bit changing gears just a little bit before we, and that is realizing all of our little skills that we have, one of which being the skill of astral projection. Excuse me. And it's really, from those who, the key to brain enhancement. I can actually agree with that. The what they're talking about, maybe not necessarily directly, but an exercise of memory would be what I've suggested to be done in previous shows, to sit down in a space that you're familiar with and comfortable with, and to then just take in every bit of information that's possible for you. That way you can try to build it in your own head. This is a direct practice of memory, right? Strengthening your memory. And this apparently is the key to brain enhancement. So especially if you want to ward off memory issues later on, But memory strength varies from one person to another. Obviously, so that's because we're all built a little bit different. We all have different upbringings. So some of us have a need to practice better memory than others. Just depends. What separates people from excellent memory skills apart from those who struggle is that they have both a strong working memory, retaining information immediately after learning it, and a long-term memory. This is basic, man. When I don't read the article completely before reading it to you guys, so it is what it is. Strong working memory and long-term memory, which you can of course practice by just doing awareness meditations. It's rare to be good at both types, especially without practice. As a neuroscientist at MIT Sloan, here are two simple brain exercises to do that boost the working memory and long-term memory. All right. Two basic ideas that we've probably been exposed to before. Chunking involves breaking down long and random and complex pieces of information into smaller chunks. It into 33, 21, and 67. Also helps to assign numbers with special meaning. So then therein lies another reason for numerology, right? You give meanings to all the different numbers, it'll help you remember stuff. And then you see that in storytelling. So moving on, we got space repetition. Method is all about boosting memory at increasingly longer intervals, which is something that's going to be really important to do if you want to have a nice long experience in the astral. If you want to remember a fact, you say it out loud a few times right after you learn it. You know, when you've given a few numbers or you have to remember a parking spot aisle, you just say it to yourself a few times and then you remember it. Then you do the same thing a few hours later, and then the next day, and then the following week. Nice little hack there. So you can do this with like something that you had for breakfast, something that's seemingly unimportant, just to strengthen your ability to be aware of these seemingly unimportant things. You can say, I had steak and eggs for breakfast. I had steak and eggs for breakfast. Steak and eggs for breakfast. Steak and eggs for breakfast. And then you're going to do that in a few hours later. And then you're going to do it the next day. And then you're going to do it the following week. And it's going to be committed to long-term memory. This is the exercise they do. Write down a grocery list for a week. Repeat it in your head for each one. Visualize the item in your mind. Cover the list. Rehearse it out loud. And then you go to the store later in the week and you see how many items you can recall. Pretty easy stuff. Okay. Different things. None of this is news, right? We pretty much all know this, but just to give you guys that friendly reminder in case you need the extra little bump, plenty of exercise, a healthy diet, and clear your headspace, guys. Sit down, meditate, get out in the grass, get in the sunshine. Have a little bit of discipline and let your thoughts roll by. Seems easy enough, I know, and it can become easy, with repetition and practice, but definitely starting off, I remember meditating being incredibly challenging to be able to sit still and completely quiet my mind. I, had convinced myself for the longest time that I actually had restless leg syndrome. And kind of find out I'm just a spaz. So, alrighty. So that's about it for this one thing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just add in again that the main thing that's going to separate people from good memory from bad memory is going to be practicing general awareness in the moment, right? So in order for you to even repeat anything to yourself to be able to remember something, you have to first become aware of that thing. And I eventually dial it back anyway on the repeating exercises. So if you repeat something over and over again, try to get to where you can repeat something less to be able to remember it. And then eventually you get to where you don't have to repeat it at all. And you can just remember it off of seeing it or hearing it the one time. Very, very useful stuff. I found that practicing memory was one of the key things that was able to help me lucid dream effectively. So let's go ahead and get off of that. We'll go back over to our theme page here. I think this is a perfect time to go ahead and do our halfway mark. I have a great song picked out for you guys. So I appreciate you tuning in. Let's do a quick shout out for you folks um over on YouTube. And then we're going to go ahead and cut over to Rockfin. So shout out to Brianna Lynn. Thank you for watching. Big Pine Sailing. Smack, that photon was going to hit you. Nice. Nighty night. Working King Shin. Make sure you get some good sleep, my friend. Just a spaz. Now that's funny. Yes, absolutely. Rethink. Who else do we have? We have Jeremy Bird, of course. Shouted you out earlier, my friend. Be sure to join us over on the Rockfin. You as well, Israel Kane. We appreciate you. Had a great conversation the other night. We also, of course, have Melodome. You know what it is over on Rockfin, my friend. MC Hip Chase. One Neo. I believe that is everybody. Tapered Bodies, of course. We will see you all, hopefully, on the Rockfin. So before we do, let's go ahead and get... Where are you? That's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. We're going to do... I can't believe it's not saved. No worries. I get it right here. Right here, right now. In just one whole second. All right. All right, guys. I appreciate you watching over on the YouTube side. Rockfin, don't go anywhere. We are going to be right back. YouTube, thanks for watching. Peace.